Tens of thousands of people get sick on cruise ships every year, and most of the time it's not rough seas or too many cocktails. It's food. One normal buffet choice can turn into 2 or 3 days stuck in your cabin, missing ports, skipping shows, and paying ship medical prices you didn't plan for. And if you're traveling with family, it spreads fast. One person gets hit, then the whole cabin follows. The reason is simple. On a ship, food sits longer, gets handled by hundreds of people, and temperatures change constantly as trays get opened, refilled, and moved. That environment makes certain foods way riskier than they would be on land. So in this video, I'm giving you 12 specific foods experienced cruisers avoid, exactly why each one is high risk on a cruise, and the safest swaps you can grab instead so you enjoy the trip without gambling with your stomach. If you want honest cruise advice with no hype, subscribe now. Let's start with the most dangerous one. Number 1. Raw oysters and raw shellfish. If there's one cruise food that experienced crew and ship doctors quietly avoid, it's raw shellfish. Raw oysters, clams, mussels, and similar seafood can be high risk on board because oysters are filter feeders. They pull water through their bodies and can concentrate whatever is in that water, including viruses and bacteria. On land, sourcing and timing are easier to control. On a ship, you don't know the full handling story, how long it was stored, how stable the cold chain was during loading, or how many hours it sat out on ice while the tray was open non-stop. That's where norovirus becomes the big problem. It's one of the most common causes of cruise outbreaks, and it can spread through contaminated raw shellfish. It also takes only a tiny amount to make someone sick. The result is usually fast and brutal. Vomiting, diarrhea, fever, dehydration, and it often spreads to cabin mates quickly. Safer swap. Eat seafood that's cooked through and served hot steamed shrimp, grilled fish, baked dishes. Skip the raw bar entirely. Number 2. Buffet sushi and buffet sashimi. Sushi on a cruise isn't automatically unsafe, but the risky version is the one sitting on the buffet. Raw fish needs strict cold holding the entire time. On a buffet, trays sit out, lids open constantly, cold plates warm up, and the same serving tools get handled by hundreds of people. Even if the ship has good standards, the buffet environment makes consistent temperature control harder than guests realize. There's also a quality variable you can't verify. Sushi-grade fish is handled and frozen in specific ways, then kept in a clean, cold chain until it's served. On a ship, fish may be sourced from different suppliers and ports, and you can't see how long it's been stored or how steady the refrigeration has been. When buffet sushi goes wrong, it often hits fast. Cramps, vomiting, diarrhea. Safer swap. If you want sushi, get it made to order at a specialty venue or fresh station. Otherwise, choose cooked rolls or hot, freshly cooked foods. Number 3. Lukewarm buffet eggs, scrambled eggs that sit. Eggs are safe when they're cooked properly and served right away. The risk starts when scrambled eggs sit in a warming tray for a long time. Buffet trays are supposed to stay hot enough to keep food safe, but every time the lid is lifted, heat escapes. Over time, parts of the tray cool down, especially around the edges and top layer. If eggs drop into the not hot, not cold zone and stay there, bacteria can multiply quickly. That's why watery, runny, or lukewarm scrambled eggs are a red flag, especially when the tray looks untouched or the eggs look dry on top but wet underneath. If you get sick from eggs, it's not a mild problem. It can mean fever, cramps, and days of diarrhea, exactly the kind of illness that ruins ports and activities. Safer swap. Use the omelet station or any made-to-order egg station where eggs are cooked fresh and served immediately. Hard-boiled eggs are usually safer too because they're fully cooked and less exposed. Number 4. Deli meats and cold cuts. Cold cuts look harmless, but on a cruise buffet they can be a quiet risk. Deli meats are vulnerable because they're stored cold, handled a lot, and often sit partially uncovered while people build sandwiches. Even one small hygiene slip, someone touching the meat, switching tongs between trays, leaning over the station can raise the contamination risk. Another issue is time. These meats are usually sliced in bulk, then placed out for long periods. And unlike hot foods, you don't get the safety reset of high heat right before you eat. If something gets introduced to that tray, it can stay there. This matters more for guests who are pregnant, older, or have weaker immune systems, because certain bacteria linked to deli meats can hit harder and cause bigger complications. Safer swap. Choose hot sandwiches where the meat is heated, or get food from a made-to-order station. Avoid open trays of sliced deli meat that hundreds of people are hovering over. Number 5. Pre-cut fruit salad, especially melon mixes. Fruit feels like the safe choice, but buffet fruit salad can be risky because the protection is gone the moment fruit is cut. The inside is moist and sugary, which makes it easier for bacteria to grow if the fruit sits too long or isn't kept cold enough. And on a cruise buffet, pre-cut fruit often sits out for hours in large trays that get opened constantly. Melons are the biggest red flag. Their rough outer skin can carry germs, and when they're sliced, that contamination can transfer to the flesh. If that fruit was cut earlier, stored in bulk, then scooped repeatedly, the risk climbs through the morning. Safer swap. Choose whole fruit with intact skin, bananas, oranges, apples, anything you can peel or wash yourself. If you want cut fruit, get it from a station that cuts it fresh or serves it in sealed single portions. Simple rule. Whole fruit is safer than pre-cut fruit sitting in a big shared tray. Number 6. Fish served rare, medium rare. Some cruise dining rooms serve tuna or salmon seared outside but raw in the middle. On land, that can be fine when quality and handling are tightly controlled. On a ship, you can't verify those variables. You don't know how long the fish was stored, whether it thawed and refroze, or if the cold chain stayed perfect during loading and storage. That matters because undercooking doesn't just affect taste, it affects safety. Parasites and bacteria are killed by proper internal cooking. If the center stays raw, anything present can survive. And when it goes wrong, the symptoms can be intense: nausea, severe stomach pain, vomiting, and diarrhea, sometimes within hours. Safer swap. Order fish fully cooked. It may not feel fine dining, but it's the smart cruise choice. Go for baked, grilled, or well-done fish served hot, or choose other hot entrees you know are cooked through. Number 7. Soft serve ice cream machines. Soft serve feels harmless, but the risk is the machine, not the ice cream. Soft serve machines have internal parts that need regular deep cleaning. If cleaning slips even a little, bacteria can build up inside in thin layers, and every new serving can pick up contamination from the system. Guests can't see the inside of the machine, so you never really know how well it was maintained that day. Another issue is how many people use the same handle. Kids touch it, adults touch it, people walk up after eating, after holding rails, after touching phones, then grab the lever. That doesn't automatically make you sick, but it increases the odds of germs spreading. Safer swap. Choose pre-packaged ice cream bars, sealed cups, or desserts served by staff from covered containers. If you want something cold, go for items that are portioned and protected. Simple rule. When a food depends on perfect machine hygiene, you're taking a risk you can't verify. Number 8. Buffet chicken that looks dry or bin sitting. Chicken is one of the easiest foods to mess up on a buffet, not because the kitchen can't cook it, but because holding it safely is tricky. Chicken must stay hot enough after cooking. When it sits in a warming tray for a long time, it dries out, and the temperature becomes uneven. The top pieces cool faster. The edges cool. The bottom can be warmer, but not always. That creates pockets where chicken can dip below safe holding temperature. Then there's cross-contact. One utensil gets used on a plate, touches something else, goes back into the tray, and now the whole batch is exposed. Most people don't even notice they're doing it. Red flags are simple. Chicken that looks dry, tough, or like it's been under lights for a long time. If it's not visibly hot and fresh, don't gamble. Safer swap. Choose chicken that's cooked in small batches, like a grill station, pool grill, or made-to-order dining room dish. Look for steaming hot, moist pieces that clearly just came out. Number 9. The chocolate fountain. The chocolate isn't the issue. The fountain is. A chocolate fountain is basically a shared dipping station, and that's a problem on a cruise where thousands of people rotate through the same area. People double dip. Kids put fingers near the stream. Someone bites a strawberry and dips it again. Utensils get swapped. And every one of those little moments introduces germs into a warm, communal flow. The chocolate is warm, but not hot enough to sanitize anything. So once contamination is introduced, it can spread from person to person through the same fountain. This is one of those foods that feels fun and harmless, but it's built on shared contact, which is exactly what you want to avoid on a ship. Safer. Swap. Choose desserts that are portioned and protected. Cakes behind glass. Packaged sweets. Staff-served chocolate-covered fruit. Or plated desserts from the dining room. Number 10. Off-hours buffet food. Early morning or late afternoon. This one surprises people because it's not a specific dish. It's the timing. Food is usually safest when turnover is high, when the buffet is busy and trays are being replaced constantly with fresh hot food from the kitchen. During off hours, the opposite happens. The buffet is quieter, trays sit longer, and some items may have been prepared much earlier and kept warming or cooling for a long stretch. Safer swap. During off hours, prioritize made-to-order stations, the main dining room, or sealed single-serve items. If you're at the buffet, pick foods that are visibly fresh, steaming hot, and clearly being replenished. Number 11. Mayo-based salads, potato, pasta, coleslaw. The problem with creamy salads isn't the mayonnaise by itself. Commercial mayo is usually acidic and fairly stable. The real problem is what happens after it's mixed with other ingredients and then sits out. These salads are moist, often protein-rich, and they're usually served cold or coolish, which means they can drift into the unsafe temperature zone fast on a busy buffet. Now, add time. A tray can sit through lunch, get stirred, topped off, and served again while the temperature creeps up and down. That's when certain bacteria can multiply and produce toxins that make people sick quickly. Even if the tray gets chilled later, those toxins can still cause a nasty few hours of vomiting, cramps, and diarrhea. Safer swap. Pick hot side dishes that are clearly steaming, or get fresh salads made to order. If you want something cold, choose sealed single-serve items or simpler foods that haven't been sitting in a big shared bowl. Number 12. Self-serve condiments, plus open sauces. This one doesn't look like food poisoning risk, but it's one of the easiest ways germs move around a ship, shared condiments. Think about how many hands touch the same ketchup pump, mayo bottle, salad dressing handle, or sauce ladle every single hour. People press pumps after touching rails, phones, napkins, plates, kids' cups. Then the next person presses the same spot. And some stations use open bowls with shared spoons, where the utensil slips into the sauce, gets handled again, and repeats all day. Even if the main food is hot and safe, adding a shared sauce can introduce contamination right at the end. Safer swap, use sealed packets when available, choose sauces served by staff, or take single-serve cups that are portioned. Out behind the counter. If you do use a station, avoid pumps that look messy or constantly touched. Simple rule, the more shared touch points, the higher the risk, especially for cold sauces and open bowls. Now that you know the pattern, you don't need to fear the buffet. Use a simple system. Rule 1. Made to order beats sitting food. Omelet, grill, and carving stations are safer because food is cooked fresh and served hot. Rule 2. Steaming hot beats warm and waiting. If it's lukewarm, dried out, or looks like it's been sitting, skip it. Rule 3. Sealed or peelable beets open trays. Whole fruit, sealed yogurt, packaged snacks reduce shared hand contamination. If you still get sick, act early. Start fluids. Right away, small sips often. Use rehydration drinks if possible. Keep food basic. Toast, crackers, rice, bananas, broth. Wash hands with soap and water, don't share cups or towels, and limit spread in the cabin. If dehydration is severe or symptoms are intense, contact medical. Quick recap. Avoid raw shellfish, buffet sushi, lukewarm eggs, deli trays, pre-cut fruit, rare fish, soft serve, mayo salads, sitting chicken, chocolate fountains, off-hours buffet, food and shared condiment stations. For more honest cruise advice, subscribe and share this with someone cruising soon.